All right. All right. I think we are live on Facebook. So I'm just going to let our viewers come on in, give them time, give them a moment. But girl, we are live.
Yeah.
Candace, we are live on Facebook. I am so excited to have you on tonight. And I'm just going to give my viewers a few seconds to chime in, and we're going to get started. We're just going to jump in and we're just going to have some fun on Let's Talk Her Wellness. And I'm excited about this talk show, this radio show, this podcast, and all that good stuff. And I absolutely love coming back on our second segment for the fall season, which is right on time. And I'm absolutely loving it. And I'm so glad that you came on to drop us some gems, Candace, because I'm going to be taking notes. So listen. Welcome to Let's Talk Her Wellness Radio podcast. And we're going to have some fun tonight. So I just hope that you guys grab your girlfriends and grab your journals. Let's Talk Her Wellness journals. I hope that you guys went on to www.letstalkherwellness.com and you ordered your journals, you ordered your teacups, because we got the tea, and we're going to be sitting back and we're going to be writing and taking notes for all of my note takers out there. I'm excited to have my girl Candace Jackson Long, who I have known for many years, and she's a bad girl. And so listen, we want to come on here and we want to learn. If you're trying to level up and you all in and you serious about your business, you want to listen to Candace. Now listen, get all you're going to get tonight, because after that, she's on the clock. she is on the clock. You're going to have to pay her for what you know. And listen, and she knows her business and she knows her brand, women behind the brand. But before we get into all of that, Candace, we always start our segment with our tea. Listen, I am away from home. And so, I have all of my pretty teacups. And I was just, when I had my tea given to me tonight, I was like, I need a saying on this cup, because listen, that's my inspiration in the morning when I'm sipping and drinking. Yeah. I need to know what's the word on this cup that I'm drinking from. So, my teacups always have a word. And so, I am drinking, of course, my favorite tea I've been rocking lately is my soursop tea. It's just been so incredible. It's been so amazing. Candace, I got to get you a cup over there, and I got to get you some soursop in there.
I don't think I've ever had that kind of tea.
Liz, no, honey. And it is so good for so many things besides antioxidants and all of that good stuff. The soursop is amazing. It is amazing. And so that's what I'm drinking tonight. So Candace, tell me, what's in your cup?
Water.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with some
all
good
I
old
drink is
H2O.
Water all day, and particularly right now, I'm fasting.
Yes.
Water is pretty much all I'm drinking right now. But mostly, even without the fast, I just drink a lot of water.
Yes, which is good. It's hydrating for your skin, and we need that. Especially we're coming into a very dry season.
Yes.
And so we need to, as the fall come in, it's just like, snakes, they shed their skin. So our skin is going to be going through something, because we're coming from summer and now we're about to go into fall. And for some people who have, skin issues, definitely drinking, some H2O and some good coconut water.
Yes. Coconut water is really good too.
Coconut water is the
so
truth,
good.
honey. I've been tearing up me some coconut water. You hear me? Okay. So I am loving my coconut water. So,
Mhm.
we want you to grab your girlfriends. I'm ready. I got Candace, I have my pen out. I know you are going to so bless us tonight. I am looking forward to it. And I just want to introduce Candace Jackson Long, who just got married. Girls, the married. Listen,
Yeah.
how is the married life? Because you're looking all, listen, you looking all bright, and listen, you've always been bright, but honey, you are really like bright because
Oh
that
man,
marital bliss, and traveling all over the world. How about that? Come
I
on now.
do. My two passions. Married life is so good. My
Mm-hmm.
husband is my best friend. He is my partner. He's just by my side all the time. And
Oh gosh.
I just love being married to him. I love our
Hmm.
marriage. It's something that we are intentional about. So, we've been
Listen,
together for a very long time. So it's a blessing. It's work, yes, but it's good work. You know what I
it's
mean? Like
good work.
good
I love
work.
it.
Yeah.
It's good work. And two, you guys just look incredible and amazing together. And then the other thing that I love, you guys do worship together.
Oh yeah. That was
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about.
prerequisite. That's a whole other, but yeah, that
Yes,
was a
honey.
requirement actually, before when we were in the dating phases. So,
Listen,
I just
listen.
thank God that he submitted to the process. And I'm just telling you, when God transforms.
He does his business, don't he?
Yes, he
I absolutely love it. But Candace Jackson Long, brand strategist.
yes.
Please tell us, because I have my notes, ladies. I hope you have your notes out there tonight. We're going to be taking questions like in midstream, but right now, brand strategist. She helped small businesses create brands. Can you tell us, Candace, how did you get started?
Wow. Okay. So that is let me simplify it. I have
Yes.
been in marketing for over 10 years, and
Oh
my path
man.
was not a linear path. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say my start in marketing actually was given to me through an opportunity by launching the Destination Trenton Tourism campaign.
Yes, I remember
Um,
that.
yes, and that was like my first, if you will, role, if you in marketing. But since then, during that time, I went back to school and I got my MBA in marketing. Worked for different companies. I worked for air charter company with
Mm-hmm.
luxury airplanes, marketing their business. I worked for in education and other nonprofits as well. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was pretty much on what we call the innovation strategic marketing side. So my
Yes.
expertise is really taking product solutions that were in just the ideation phase. They were just ideas on paper, much like the Destination Trenton Tourism Initiative was an
Yeah.
idea on paper, and
Right.
bringing it to what we say to market. So bringing it to life and making it a real thing that people either can partake in or be packaged and sold.
Okay.
So through that process, you go through, and I always am cognizant not to use too much marketing jargon when I'm talking about this. So essentially, when you are bringing a product to market, there are a couple of key things that have to happen.
Right.
First is the identity of the business or the product or solution. And
Mm-hmm.
most people, when you think of the identity, they think about either the logo, the colors, the website. But there is a
Right.
lot of intentional groundwork that happens before you get to that stage, because
Hmm.
the logo is just a logo. There's no meaning behind it. Now, for the person that had it created, there's meaning behind it for you. But for the average consumer that you're trying to reach, your logo is just a logo. It doesn't mean anything to them, right? So
Right.
the
Right.
process of the first stage of building a brand or even launching a new business is forming that identity that is going to be the identity that the target audience or your customers that you are
Hmm.
trying to connect with see themselves in and want to engage with. So now what
Hmm.
happens is you create a story of you become known for what you are known for, right? And then who are you servicing? That's part of the process.
Hmm.
Um, so that's what I typically do. I'm hearing feedback. I don't know if that's me or you.
Okay. Yep, that's me. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, that's me.
Okay. So then the second part of the process is really understanding who your target audience is. So it's connecting your brand identity to the market that you're servicing. So who do you want to buy your products or services from? You know what I mean? Who are they? And then start connect to their needs. And then the third stage is the actual marketing, which is basically waving your hand and letting people know that you are here, that you have something that is available that they may be interested in purchasing or using or something like that. So it's a very
Hmm.
simplified process. But when you're bringing products that was just an idea to market, you go through this process because it's the only way that you can sort of kind of just set yourself up for success.
Okay. So, someone that is starting a business, because we went from, when I'm talking to women, there's so many different phases,
Yeah.
and it's an idea. And maybe I have one or two clients over here. I think the biggest thing that I get is I am afraid to leave my 9 to 5. And so, I know I'm good. I know I
Yeah.
have a product. I know I'm good at what I do. But how do I make the decision to go all in and take a chance on me?
Right.
What would you say, Candace? And I'm just backing it up a little bit,
Yeah.
and just for that viewer and for that person, I know I have a good brand. I know I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm just afraid. I'm just afraid to leave my 9 to 5.
Yeah. So first, I would say that we don't operate with the spirit of fear because that is
I
not
love
given
it.
to us. So we will first
I
start
love
there.
that. Hmm.
And I always say that to be an entrepreneur, you have to have a growth mindset. You cannot
Yeah,
have a fixed mindset. And I
that's
love that
good.
you phrased it in terms of taking a chance on yourself, betting on yourself, because that
Yes.
should happen in any context. Even if you are working a 9 to 5, you should always be investing and pouring into your self development, even if you're in a 9 to 5 container. Because the
Yes.
reality is this: you may be working for a company, but you are a company. Me.inc
Yes.
is your company. That is your company. You know what I
I
mean?
like that.
So
I
like
like what you
you
said.
are an entrepreneur in a 9 to 5 container. And that's how I would say, first look at yourself, because at least for me, I was in situations where I was laid off from my job. And that put me in such a compromising situation. But that
Mm,
layoff, what ended up being the biggest blessing in my life, because it really
yes.
set me up to do the things for me to really bet on myself, which means skill up, level up, so that I have options available to myself. So whether it be meant going to another job or starting my own business, whatever route that I decided to go, I took control to make sure my fate will be determined by me. My livelihood would not be determined based
Oh,
on
I love it.
someone else in
I
no
love
matter
that.
any circumstance. So I would first start
Mhm.
there. The
Mhm.
next thing is, please don't buy into this culture where people are shaming people for working and starting a business. There is no shame in working full time while
Mhm.
standing up your business. I'm doing that. I work full time, and here's why. Because I'm not trying to be on nobody's struggle bus. I'm not. Like, yes, starting a business is hard in itself, but I
Yes.
don't want to put myself in a financially compromised position. I've made certain decisions in my life, getting more education, getting more skills so that I can make more money so that I can live comfortably. So I'm not going to take the route of being a struggle entrepreneur in that sense if I don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to. So I fund my business, through my income, but then also now being scaled up and working with different coaches to get other funding sources to help me grow my business. So
Mhm.
please, you have to define success on your terms. And I'm
Yes.
clear on my journey. My journey is my journey. I
Yes.
am not starting my business to prove anything to anyone. I'm starting my business to serve. And because I'm a faith based person, my belief in timing is that God's timing is God's kindness. So when it is time for me to make that leap and that transition, I'll be able to do so. But I'm also able to build my business
We got
without
stuck.
the stress of, oh my God, how am I going to make my mortgage payment next month if,
Mhm.
cash flow hasn't flown the way it should? Because the reality is this, we have to look at the stats. 70% of small businesses fail within the first year. And then 50 to 60% don't make it past 3 years. So you're looking at a good first 5 years before you
I
actually
think
become profitable.
right.
You know,
I love what you said. You said starting. You just said something that really caught my attention, and I love what you said. It's your journey,
yes,
and you took your life and you took your journey into your own hands,
yes,
and you took the path that, and I love when you said, first of all, God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but Lord knows we have it. And
absolutely.
so you have to know that what you have is so valuable. And you said one key word, you said serve.
Hmm.
And that right there is huge, to be able to serve and bless somebody's that is looking for what you have, that is struggling, and I like the brand strategy, because you have a great brand, especially for entrepreneurs that have been in the business for so many years. Sometimes you get to that place where, gosh, what other way can I go?
Yeah.
What other things can I do? Because sometimes you get stuck. It's almost like that writer's block, right? And so it's someone like you that comes along and can kick out like 20 more things. You're like, OMG. Like, you can look at it and say, how did you get all of that? But by listening, number one, to people's stories.
Yeah.
Because and that was a big thing for me, Candace. And that's why we're doing this segment.
Mhm.
Women behind the brand.
Yeah.
Because I see you, I love your product, I love your services, but who is the woman behind the brand? Like, what's your story? Because you didn't just show up here, you know,
Right.
and like Pastor Darius Daniel says, what is your story? And when you share your story, you don't know how many doors open
Yeah.
just by me telling the story of how I got here. Because
Yeah.
it's something about our stories that really inspire people. And I don't know how many times I've heard people say, in my business, Butterfly, they say, you know why we're here? Because of you. Because we believe in you. Even though you have a great product,
Yeah.
even though you have an amazing service, but you care about us.
Yeah.
And so I buy everything you have.
Yeah. Well,
And
people
I
buy
can,
you.
yeah,
They
yeah,
buy
they
you.
buy you.
Yeah.
And so that's why, I want to get into the meat and potatoes of, that's a whole nother segment, the health
Let's
of your
do
business.
it.
Because the health of your business is you.
Exactly.
You are the business.
Yes. I
And
love that you
so
said that. Yep.
your business is as healthy as you are.
Yep. Your business
So
will rise and fall to the level that you do.
yeah,
That's just
yeah.
reality.
And so, branding. Tell us, what is that?
Branding is identity. Branding is it's who you are. It's what you stand for, who you are for. That's what branding is. It's it's the morals, it's your values, it's your core principles, right? And it's
Mhm,
also
mhm.
about the audience that you're assigned to serve.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what branding is. And for me, it's so important because especially now, right, where we're living in a time, there's for every one thing, there's 50 people doing it, right? So there's nothing new. There's nothing new.
No.
Like we just said a moment ago, people buy you. They're,
Yes.
they're buying you. So when you decide to do business with someone, you're looking for someone that shares those values with you. And the only difference is they may specialize in a certain sector, like you specialize in wellness. So
Mm-hmm.
that's your expertise. So I will come to you for that. But I also choose you because I know the values that you stand on. I know
Yes.
the caliber in which you run your business, which
Mm-hmm.
reflects my values. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yes.
that's what branding is. Why it answers the question, why should I choose you?
Yes.
And just like how you show up and present, it's that, but reflected through your business. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
aspect that I work with small business owners is how do we bring this through your business brand so that from a wider space, customers know who you are for, what they should be coming and what you stand for. And now it gives meaning to when they see your logo without you having to tell them, it already communicates it for them.
Now, for someone that makes that step, Candace, to say, okay, you know what? A brand strategist. Like, how do you, in your business, for someone that's getting started, maybe in the middle, when do you know what? I need to go and get me a brand strategist.
I think when you decide if you want to build a business that is going to be the mechanism to create generational wealth in your family. If your
Mm-hmm.
business is like part of your exit strategy, or you want it to really grow versus remaining something you do on the side as a side hustle. You're comfortable with your current customer base. You don't really want to grow beyond a certain scale. I would say that would be the key difference in determining if you need sort of a brand strategist. Now, in both
Okay.
situations, the basic questions you still need to be able to answer. What is it that
Okay.
you do? Like, what is it that you do?
Right.
Who do you do it for and how do you do it differently? Everyone starting a business needs to be able to answer that question, those three questions.
Yes. Yes, yes. And so, working with a brand strategist, because you know what? I remember being in one of the conferences, and it says you need to be able to tell people in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, what do you do?
Yes. And if you,
And sometimes that could be that, wow, what that's a challenge sometimes, especially when you do so much.
exactly.
There's not, like, for instance, myself being in business of going on 25 years now,
Yeah.
there's so much that I do. I know that I can't do it all.
Yeah.
So I had to scale back and say, what is the one thing or the two thing or the one thing? What is the one problem you solve? I had to reword it for me.
I love
For
and oh
for me to stay on track, I
yes.
had to word one thing. What is the number one problem that you solve?
Yep.
For me to stay on track.
Yes. I love that. And that is the question, because
Mhm.
every product, service, you're either solving a problem or meeting a need.
Yes, I
Doing
love
one of
that.
those two things, you're either solving
Yes,
a problem or meeting a need. And I say that
yes.
because so with wellness, which is such a great topic to parse this out, right? So solving a problem, either you're unwell or something like that, right? So that's solving a problem. But then there's
Hmm.
also the kind of wellness where it's meeting a need. And that is the self-care, you know what I mean? So it can be
Yes,
looked at from two very different angles. So I love
yes.
that you started with that question, because that is the number one question I usually ask my clients. That question, what problem do you solve, and their why.
Hmm.
And I dig into the why because when things get hard
Hmm.
and you
And they do.
when things
Yes,
get hard and things get slow, it is going to be your why that's going to keep you going.
yes,
And for you to elevate and grow that business beyond the six figures, or to be able to operate for 25 years as you are doing, you know what I mean? You have
hmm,
to be firmly rooted in why you are doing this. And
yes,
I'm sure if I was to ask you, why are you doing this? Your why is probably not tied to money. It's
no,
probably a deeper purpose.
no, 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 and definitely not that. I would say being in business is like being in a marriage, because being in business is a marriage,
Mhm.
and you know things change, seasons change, you know, and your why has to be, and it because it is bigger.
Yeah.
It really is bigger than you.
Yeah.
And so and especially when you have a passion.
Yeah.
My passion drives me. You
Hmm.
know, I just want to see people well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, for instance, today, I'm at a cancer center. And so, you know, now really, really pushing my nutrition business,
Yeah.
I'm sitting down and I know how ugly cancer is. And when I see my cancer people sitting here eating and drinking soda, cancer hates sugar. It loves sugar. So I'm just like, I got the pen and the paper and
Yeah.
I'm writing down. I'm like, oh my God. If I didn't know, sitting down just watching, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I got a whole notebook full of why.
Wow.
Just watching the lives
Yeah.
of people and knowing what I know.
Right. And now you're going to solve a problem.
solve a problem.
That is amazing. That I resonate with that so much because part of the reason why I started my business is I want to see more Black businesses become bigger companies and corporations.
Yes.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America. You know what I mean? They employ the most jobs. And
Yes.
I firmly believe that we can create our own opportunities
Oh, yes, we can.
if we are able to scale what we're already doing. And I've seen so many instances of great small businesses not able to make it because they did not have access to the tools and resources like marketing to grow their business. And I see the power of marketing. We see it every day. We live it every day. We live it every day. We just seen it with the mega hit with Barbie, all that money. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness.
I just think about that. I'm like, wow, if I can take, knowing my expertise in this field, if I can take some of that and empower and equip these businesses with the tools, the strategies, the campaigns for them to grow, it could be a game changer for our community.
Oh,
and that's
my
why
God.
I firmly believe in just building the foundation, building, yes, you're starting for today, but start with a bigger vision for tomorrow. Like my business, the vision I have for my business is looking 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
So when you ask about leaving the job today, I'm like, today is just today. I know what 10 years is going to look like. So it requires for me to be in the space I am in today.
Yes. Yes. And like you said, one of the things that I say a lot now is, when I'm out and I'm networking with other, businesses, I think I started saying this maybe like 2 years ago. And there's so much available to us now. I say when I started like 24 something years ago, I was solopreneur, and I was doing it on my own.
Yeah.
And all of the tools and all of the things that we have now, if we had them back then, I would have been killing the game.
Girl.
But we did not have all of this. We didn't have all of these. We
right.
That wasn't available.
Yeah.
You strapped up your boots and you hit the ground running. I was vending. I was all over the place. And it's so, and I'm like, man, we use the word and the term now, OG. I'm like, man, you was the OG. You started all of this.
Yes, you did.
Like everything that I see people doing now, vending at the farmers market, all over there. I'm like, this is where I started my business.
Yeah.
I was doing this when nobody was out here.
Yeah.
And just looking at it now, I say to people now, you know what? Find a way. Businesses get married.
Yeah.
And if you can find a business, you guys hit it off and you can pair and kill the game together. Oh my God. Listen.
I love what you're saying because we have to get out of, it's great to have healthy competition, but you should leverage strategic partnerships.
Yes.
And like that African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. It's thinking strategically about partnerships. So if you're not in direct competition, but you're complementary in your services.
Yes.
Then what does that look like from a partnership perspective? How can you leverage what each other brings and create access for more. You know what I mean? Which is
Mm-hmm.
definitely important. And I think, listen, I hear it all the time, especially in my mastermind and my talking to my coach and other very successful people. You know, at the top, they're talking about collaboration. At the bottom, they
Yes.
talk about competition.
Yes.
Two
Yes.
different mindsets. Two
Yes.
different
Yes.
mindsets.
And we don't even have to, we don't even have to compete with each other, and that's one of the things, when I do speaking engagements and all, I'm like, listen, we're like flowers in a garden.
Yeah.
When you walk into a garden of flowers, you never hear the rose tell a tulip, oh, you're too green, you're too red, you're too tall, you're too small. No, we're all in this garden in our own lane, popping them colors, because when people walk in the garden, they just oohing and eyeing and oohing. And can you imagine if we were like that? You know, there's no
Absolutely.
reason for me to be in competition with you. All I need to do is stay in my lane, do what God has called me to do,
Yeah.
and you do what God has called you to do. Man, we can.
Right. And so a big part of that too, and I love the analogy that you said in terms of being flowers in the garden, because there's a couple of things to that. It's when you are in such a competitive, unhealthy competitive mode, right?
Yes.
You're operating with that limitation mindset. And I'm of the belief that we are each called to serve certain people. And there is more than enough within your audience segment that you're supposed to serve for you to become profitable and wealthy and hit all your wealth goals. You know what I mean?
Come on.
You can definitely do that. But I think what is required to be in that space is you have to know who you are. You have to be clear on who you are, what your business is about, and who you are servicing. Because when you are not clear, that's when you start falling into sort of the comparison traps, that unhealthy competition. You think someone is going to steal what is for you. But when you are clear on who you are, what you do, and who you are supposed to serve, you know that your lane has already been paved for you. Your work is really just a matter of making yourself visible so your people find you. That's what it's about.
That right there is a whole mouthful. And what you just said, that's like a whole mouthful. And, I love, love, love this information, because I always say the right information can change and save your life, because it really, really can. And, to all my viewers out there, the number one thing that I would say is plug in to segments like this. Listen, if you want to grow your business and you want to do things a little different but still stay in your lane, still add some icing onto it, hey, go to YouTube University every day. I go to YouTube University every single day for 1 hour. I got that tip off a millionaire. He says, listen, I go to YouTube University every day for 1 hour.
Yes.
And whatever path you're on, and whatever information you need in this season, you bring up that type of information, and you keep listening. You keep listening. You keep listening, because you're literally just lighting the match.
Yep.
And it's going to take fire.
Yeah.
And find who can I go under and get and grow and just get, my business to another level.
Right.
Because we go from levels to levels to levels. So, Candace, how can one find you?
You can find me on all the socials, Candace Jackson Long. My website is CandaceJacksonLong.com. So just Google me, I will come up. I would love to talk with you. Just need some guidance on, even just identifying, like, you have your business and you're trying to figure out, well, who is, my target audience, or how do I describe myself as a business? Those are the questions that I help you to answer. So, my company, we specialize in taking you from unknown to in demand, and we have a very specific framework that we use to take our clients through. So
I love it. Now, do you give homework, Candace? You give homework?
you're a business owner, you know what stuff to do.
Oh my God. Listen, I absolutely love this because, one of the segments that I really do want to release, and that is the health of your business. You know,
Mm,
I am a health coach, and so I don't just, you know,
mhm.
um, assist people in just their health,
Yeah.
but health is in every area of your life.
Mhm.
You got your financial, you got your emotional, you got your relational, you got all of these leads. And
Yes,
so, if you're struggling in one area, it's going to affect your health.
absolutely.
If
I
you're
mean,
struggling in business,
oh,
you know
absolutely.
how many late nights I'm up, I can't sleep. You
Right.
know,
You,
God wants us to go your butt to bed and go to sleep.
yes.
But I ain't gonna lie to you, as a business owner, you're gonna be up at night
Oh, yeah.
because this is your business and you're trying to figure out, God, I want to go to the next level. How do I do it? You scratching your head like,
Yeah.
but God always sends that answer,
Yeah.
and Candace, you are an answer
Yeah.
to somebody, that's trying to figure it out, because I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I said, you know what? I got to get Candace and I got to pick her brain, because we on to something here.
Yeah.
So how can we bring it on a larger stage? Because you're rocking stages now at conferences.
I do a little
So it's not
something.
only it's not only for just individuals, but
Mhm.
it's also for corporations as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
So
yeah. I
how do you go after these corporations, because you just did one. You just
yeah,
spoke at
so
a
it's all, listen, I'm a marketing business that has to
mhm,
market myself. And what
mhm.
marketing is letting people know that you are available and you have something of value to offer. So part of that process is me outreaching and looking for opportunities for me to, share my message and speak. So it's
Yes,
going through that process. Listen,
yes. And
that,
we already have one. We just created one tonight, the wellness of your business.
yes,
And so we want to know, how well is your business? We want to know how well you are in your business.
yes.
So, Candace, you help them make the seven figures, and I want to help you feel like the seven figures, because let me tell you, I don't know how many businesses and conferences that I have sat in, and I have seen amazing brand strategists, and whatever it is that they help you do in business,
Yeah.
but they're unhealthy.
Yeah. I mean, I love that you bring this up. And I think we were talking about this in a previous discussion in terms of the health of your business. And
Yes,
the health of your business is you. Like we said earlier, your business is going to rise to the rate that you do. And
yes,
when you are a small business owner, when you are a solopreneur and you are managing other responsibilities, you have your family, you have
yes.
kids, other
Hmm.
responsibilities, while also embarking on an uncharted path of
Hmm.
starting a business. Because
Yes.
that's the thing, when you're starting a business, maybe five things, right?
Hmm.
And what I mean by that is, what the business is. So like my business is marketing. I know marketing. I know
Yes.
that. But as a
Mhm.
CEO of my business, I have to learn other things
Yeah.
as it relates to my business that may not be my expertise. So that means
Yes.
I have to get skilled up or work with
Hmm.
someone on those aspects while balancing my job. While also, we're not even, let's talk about the mental health aspect of it. So I
Yeah.
deal heavily, and I share this a lot in my Instagram, I deal heavily with imposter syndrome. So, and
Mm.
sometimes it could be debilitating for me. So I
Yeah.
had to learn strategies and tools to be able to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that thing will stop my progress. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like
Hmm.
these types of your emotional health, your mental health, your support system, like my husband, my
Yeah.
family. Before I even started this, I had to have a conversation with my husband. We had to talk about what that looks like, how now my
Yeah.
days are going to be longer. You know what I mean? What are the
Yeah.
impacts on the
Yeah.
household? What about the times when, I'm bombing on a sales call and I didn't make the sale, and, all of these things, these kinds of stressors. So the mental
Yes.
health and how I deal with that. Well, first, for me, my spiritual foundation is everything. It's
Everything.
everything. And I am so privileged and lucky to be under, I say they're the best pastors, the best church in the world.
Oh,
But
you
I'm gonna
better
leave that.
say
I don't want
that.
to get all religious and all that stuff on people. But so yeah, so
Yes.
I am under a spiritual teacher, and I'll just say that the way we are discipled is not for a Sunday church. We are a Monday church, and what that means is
Come
what we
on.
learn is tools and principles that we can apply in our daily life. So when I got to go to work Monday and deal with people who are getting on my nerves, you know what I mean? That message
Yes.
told me, not puffed
Yeah.
me up and got me excited, but told me how to deal with those situations.
Yeah.
So that, along with, I work out 5 days a week. I have a personal trainer. Being in the gym is also my therapy.
Yes. Yes.
It's the place where it's my worship, it's my exorcism.
Yes.
It's my
Listen, girl, you
everything.
better say that. You better say that. The health of our business. See, I told you this our first segment. And
Yeah.
so, of many, and I'm really serious about that. And that's a sidebar conversation that we'll have. But I see this and I just know that it is so important because if you are, come on, let's really think about this. If you are a seven-figure business,
Yeah.
you're on the move. How are you eating?
Uh,
Are you eating on the run while you running to make that next plane?
yeah.
How are you
Everything.
how are you managing? And so, I love, like you said, we're not trying to get all spiritual on here, but I'm a spiritual being, so I
Yeah.
can't put it down. So, but my thing here is, like, our spiritual leader said they had to step back because as you have vision, if you are a visionary,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to turn your mind off.
It is.
Sometimes it's like, oh my God, how
Yeah.
you got to shut it down.
Yeah.
Wait, let me make this last text. I'm
Uh,
just this one last text,
or you
or
wake
let me
up in the
send this
middle of the
one
night.
last email.
You wake up in the middle of the
Yeah,
night and take a
making
note.
notes.
Be knocked out
I'm
sleep
serious.
and like, oh, let
Yes,
me get back.
knocked out sleep. Listen, I think I had to up my iCloud because I have so many
Yes.
notes,
Yes.
and you got to get it out. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, wait a minute, just hold that thought.
Yep.
I got to write this down
Yeah.
because it go out of your head,
Yeah.
and
You
as
wanna
young
move it.
and as younger as you get, you don't hold all of that information,
Yeah.
like you used to. But I love what you said, the husband and wife piece,
Oh,
because you know I remember taking a class, and that class was how to leave business
ooh,
at business, because I was bringing the business in the bed.
Yeah.
That laptop was coming. I got the and
Yeah.
then what I did is I got a smaller version of a laptop and got an iPad, and I'm thinking I'm not bringing a laptop in the bed now. I just got a little iPad,
Right.
but that's still bringing the business,
Yeah. You gotta have
and
boundaries.
so how do you turn that off?
Yeah.
So I like having these segments, and I'm thinking, to pull some different segments, because now you're speaking to that couple. How do you turn it off?
You have to have boundaries. You have to have boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been guilty of the same. And I'm not going to lie, I've also broken the rules and brought the laptop in the bed. But so we do have, my husband and I, we do have an agreement that we don't bring any work into the bedroom.
I like
So when
that.
we're working, it's, always outside of the bedroom. So that way, by the time we get in there, there's a transition. Because
Mhm.
I'm home, I work from home, he leaves, but my whole day is spent at home. So I
At home.
yeah. So even the physical space also helps me to transition mentally as well, to
Yeah.
shut
Yeah.
stuff off and go into
Right.
transition modes. The other thing that
Right.
we do is we have scheduled business meetings.
I love it.
So for those, either, I'll have an agenda, or if I'm struggling with something in particular, then we'll make that the agenda topic. But we do
Mhm.
have business meetings that are designated for that. And then the other thing too, which admittedly has been a bit of a struggle for us, is adhering to our date nights. And here's
Oh.
only because we are empty nesters. We don't have little kids, so for us, we're together all the time. So it's
That's
kind
my
of like,
husband and I.
we're
Yeah.
always chilling and hanging out. But the
Yeah.
the girl in me is like, look, I need dedicated time where I know that this is a date we're going on. I'm getting dressed.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Yes.
cute. You know what I mean?
Come
So we
on.
just came up with a new strategy for
Okay.
that I think will help us, because we were trying to commit to I think we were trying to commit to like weekly or something like that. But our weekends, we're pretty active and busy, so we have a pretty full social life too. So with the balance, and like you were saying earlier, I spend a lot of time, because I have to, on my business. So
Yes.
we just had to create a better system to get
Yes.
it all. So we paired back to, okay, twice a month is our dedicated sort of date night time, where we kind of take turns and plan that out. But I would say the
Yes.
biggest thing would be having those boundaries. You have to have
Yes.
boundaries.
Yes. Yes. I love that. And listen, let's talk her wellness. There you have it. You got that one. That's a good gem, that you could take and ponder on it and make it your own.
Yeah.
Make it your
You
own,
got to do
because
what works for you. Can I
yes.
just say this? Take everyone's advice and insight, but
Mm-hmm.
make it work for you. Because I know for me, I was falling into the traps, and I'm following every successful person. But remember too, like, that's a blueprint
Yeah.
for you, but not necessarily. That's just to give you guidance so you can see what is possible and what's available to you. But you
Right.
take that and you make it your own, because your path is still going to be your own. I remember our
Yes.
pastor said something like, you're looking for a blueprint. You can't find a blueprint you're looking for, because you are the one that's supposed to create it.
I love it.
And when he
I
said
love
that,
it.
it set me free. Like, you right. I'm like, you right. You're
You
right.
so
So
right about it.
now it's about taking, I take for examples, and remember too, some things may not need to be used in that particular season. It might be for
Mhm.
you to hold in your back pocket for a later season, or
Right.
it might be for you to share with someone else. So,
Hmm.
you know, yeah.
I love it. I love all of these gems because they're so needed. And again, I wish I had them, when I first started out. because I figured all of this out
Yeah.
by trial and error,
Yeah.
and so, it's a hard knock life. I
Yeah.
mean, I learned that, and that's what make me, who I am today. But I'm gonna tell you, if I had to go back and do it all over again, I would, because it made me grind. It made me appreciate,
Mhm.
when I sit back and I look, I'm like, man, we used to do this. We didn't have, all of the of what we have today.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, you know, no, I'm not retired,
You better not.
but
You better you better share that wisdom.
I'm on autopilot and I'm teaching, so I'm just taking
Yeah.
all of what is inside of me and what I've learned, and now I'm just sharing it, because these jewels are they're so valuable.
Yeah.
They're very, very valuable. And for, we what they say, like, you have Oprah and you have all of those women in business, they paved the way for us.
Absolutely.
And now I'm just paying it forward,
Right. I love
to others. But, again, I have all your information on how we can find you. If you can just put it in the chat, because we're streaming on Let's Talk Her Wellness. We're streaming on YouTube, and we're streaming on my personal page. If you could just put your information in the chat, how can we find you, brand strategist? Because not only is she, for small businesses, but hey, organizations are on here. If you are looking for a brand strategist, for your company, reach out to Candace Jackson Long. She is a awesome, awesome woman of God, and she is amazing at what she do. And I'm telling you, I remember from way back. She's been doing this for a long time, but she was just doing it for somebody else. And now, thank you for joining us over here on the entrepreneur side. Thank you for joining us over here on the entrepreneur side. And so I look forward to just really seeing where you're going. I know you're going.
Well, I have to thank you for being a blueprint and creating a platform, to not only allow other people to share their wisdom, but also share yours. I remember you were the first woman of color in that space, wellness space, that I had seen, much less own
Wow.
your own spa.
Wow.
So again, you can't be what you can't see.
Wow.
And I think that I was called to marketing
Mm-hmm.
because I need more of our kids to see what is possible. So your
Yes.
business, and I think now that I think back on it, like, your business showed me what was possible. You showed
Wow.
me what was available to me, another route that was outside
Wow.
of going from job to job to job.
Wow.
And that's why I think it is so important. Again, your business is 25 years. Think about
Mm.
how many lives have been impacted. You don't even know how many examples of kids
Wow.
that your
Wow.
business has touched. You have no idea.
Wow.
So my
Wow.
thing is, like, if we can 10x that,
Mm.
we can 10x that, 100x that, by
Wow.
equipping these businesses with branding and marketing strategies. Think about the
Mm.
representation. Think about
Wow.
the visual shifts. Think
Mm.
about us showing future generations of kids what is actually available to them through our businesses. That's what this is
Wow.
about. those generations.
Wow. Wow.
That's why I'm
And
doing.
and
I
I
gotta thank
have,
you.
yes, well, thank you so much. I really do. That has truly blessed my heart because you know what? Sometimes you just need to hear that because you really don't know how much or how you impact, people's lives like that. And I'm so glad that you shared that because a lot of that thanks to have to go to Tanisha Laird
Yes.
because she when I was going to Business Week downtown Trenton
Yeah.
when they used to do it every what was it, every month? I
Yeah,
think it
like
was every
transform it.
month.
Yep.
Yes, yes. And I remember her saying when she used to work for the mayor, I think it was Mayor Palmer,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I remember her saying, "You got to come to Trenton." And at that time, I was on Farmsworth in Bordentown.
Okay.
That's where my business originally was. And so she kept saying, "You got to come downtown. You got to come downtown. We need you down here." And I was like, "No, I don't want to come downtown." And just being at Business Week, you
Yeah.
know, and just really just interacting with the community, which is my home I grew up in, I said, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And
Yeah.
I did. I think I was there for like 5 years or so. And until I, moved out into Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But it was Tanisha. It was
It was Tanisha. She gave me my first opportunity. I mean, talk about
yes,
visionary.
yes,
She saw.
yes.
I'll
It
forever be
was
grateful to her.
Yes. And so that's how I got to know you and Eva. And, they just, and you guys supported the business
Yeah.
from day one,
Yep.
supported the business from day one. And who would have ever known 25 years later? Wow. Talking about full circle,
Right.
talking about coming
And you talk
together
about
full
gems.
circle.
This is why
Yes.
I always believe that you have to be good to people
Yes.
because you don't know where they will show up again in your. You don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. I mean, it just warms my heart.
Yeah.
And I just do believe that we have just literally sparked a match, and really we're on to something. We're on to something because it is so important for people to know the health and wellness
Yeah.
of their business, and the health and wellness of your business is you. And
Absolutely.
so I think that when you are inspired, when you are educated, when you know what you know, what you know, what you know, you can really impact people's lives on a whole different level. And I like what you said. When you impact people's lives,
Yeah.
and you solve problems. Let me say that again. When you impact people's lives and you solve problems, the money will come.
Absolutely. Always.
The money will come and take you over and knock you down
Always. That's why you focus on
because
business.
you solve because people are sitting Googling it, YouTubing it, and you'll come along and just have a conversation with Candace, and you'd be like, "Oh my God,
5 minutes.
did she just drop that like that? Like I've been trying to figure this out." And you came and you just gave that because when creative minds
Yeah.
come, you make magic.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for coming on. Let's Talk Her Wellness. We want to see you again and again and again, for our wellness segment in business, and just to bless people's lives. And we have Candace Jackson Long information on all of the social media platforms. We're going to be sending it out and just sending it in the reels the whole of this week. So if you say, oh, I didn't catch your information, don't worry about it. We're going to post it. We're going to have it up there. And you can be able to even go on to www.letstalkherwellness.com. We're going to post her information up there, and you can go to the website and you could follow her. You can call her and listen, get your business connected. If you're really, really serious about your business and you really want to take your business to the next level, what they say, you need a coach, you need a brand strategist, you need everything you need, you know, to get your business up and running so that people can take you serious. Because I know you're serious. If you're running a business, you're serious. Because no person that's not serious, they're not going to put all this money into and this time into just a hobby.
No.
You know, this isn't a hobby for none of us. Yeah. So I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
It's been such a pleasure, you know, speaking with you. We got to do this again. And for our viewers out there, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Her Wellness. Listen, we want to blow this station up. We want it to go all over the world. Listen, we're going to be on some major platforms, speaking it right now into existence. So you've seen it here first. You've seen it here first. So I want to thank you, Candace. Thank you. God bless you. And we will talk later.